Hello everyone, this is Bob and Threadbare, and welcome back to Thi4f.
And I'm Kalon Zombie.
I'm Random Ninja.
And, after a brief foray on the individual level last time, we've gone back to status quo here.
He couldn't handle the tiger tits.
We're the buffer that makes it bearable.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I suppose you're also okay with the fact that I cut to immediately after I picked up and looked at the tiger tits.
Well, maybe. Who knows? Listen, that purse wasn't shiny. A crow would not have picked that up.
The edges were shiny.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, but for whatever reason, the crows in this city just love those damn purses.
Yeah, I mean, I can see individual coins, but a whole purse is stretching it.
And yet it's always the purses, it's never the coins.
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes crows steal some weird shit. They're smart as hell, they know what's up.
Maybe crows like cake money as well.
Maybe.
Maybe they're saving up for a rainy day.
Putting a roof over the crow's nest.
They'd get a piggy bank, but I mean, they'd need to be a piggy for that.
Yep.
It's true. Birdie Bank, doesn't sound as good, strangely, even though it should.
Yeah.
Birdie Bank.
There's something
It's just
down
because
there.
we're not used to saying it. In some alternate universe, we're like, man, piggy bank is fucking weird.
Why'd you call it a piggy bank? That makes no sense at all.
Yeah, honestly, just thinking about it, it really doesn't, does it?
How did that get started?
I'm betting it was some jar that a farmer put his spare money in so that he could buy a pig.
Yeah,
And he
I
called
don't
it his
know.
piggy bank.
I mean, you associate pigs with, being gluttons, so maybe the idea was to make sort of a joke about feeding the piggy.
Maybe.
That could make sense. Then again, language is weird, so who really knows?
Yeah, English is fucking amazing that anybody can even understand it.
What was the way I heard it put that it, English mugs other languages and...
English doesn't have its own rules. It corners down languages in alleyways and robs them and rifles through their pockets for spare grammar.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Why did they make this hub world so fleshed out and then the missions so crappy? I don't get it.
different teams.
The city really is a nice environment. Empty, but nice.
Well, it used to be a little more lively before all the whole riots thing.
Yeah.
Well, we never really saw any of that, though. It may have been, but we didn't see crowds of people going about their daily business. Then again, there is a plague, so...
Well, there were never really crowds.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is that plague, but... this place looks empty, but there's one thing.
Whoa. Sneaky.
Very.
Hell yeah.
Very cool.
Does anything in the game tell you about that, or do you just have to find that on your own?
Oddly enough, for this thing, there is something that tells you. There is a hint for this room. I'm just finding it out of order because, the hub world is nice about that and allows you to, find secrets even if you haven't been told about them.
So where would you go to get told about this chest?
Another secret.
Another secret? Okay.
Yeah, another secret room.
Secrets within secrets.
And it's part of a related series. Smuggler's Maps.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There we'll be finding more of those. One of them points to this location.
Interesting. So every time you open a treasure chest, there's a new map.
I wouldn't say every time, but there's a few.
Okay. Well, like one of those smuggler treasure chests. I assume there's only 15 of them in total.
Oh no, that was the South Quarter documents. That was the 1 out of 15.
Okay. I thought that was smugglers, specifically.
Nah.
Do you think ravens taste like chicken?
Most poultry tastes the same, so
I would say they taste more like chicken than they would like pork.
yeah.
What if they tasted like deer, just to completely fuck with everyone's expectations?
You know, I had venison that tasted remarkably like cow.
I actually made myself...
The guy who made it for me explained that it's probably because it was like corn-fed deer.
Yeah, they do farm venison, strangely enough. I've seen a whole deer farm. Or was it a caribou farm? I don't know.
Well, I think this was sort of like a preserve. Like it was,
Oh, okay.
you know, a bit of land where they cultivate the game animals. Apparently that guy can see me.
Apparently. Clearly his neck hood thing doesn't work so well, despite it being pitch black. Man, that hand is glistening.
Yeah. Always has been, man.
Yeah, it's just super dark. It shouldn't glisten.
He has
Whoops.
some really late leukemia going on, I bet.
And the other guy's just like, alright.
I'm surprised he didn't Wilhelm scream. Or Wilhelm scream out there.
I watched one of those terrible movies Netflix is known so well for. And a couple of minutes in, it had a Wilhelm scream. I'm like, yep, sounds about right.
Oh god, speaking of terrible things with Netflix, have you seen the preview for the Richie Rich TV show that Netflix is making?
I sure haven't.
Oh,
They're making a series about that?
yes.
I recall, like, there being no fewer than 2 movies which were bad ideas.
One of them had Macaulay Culkin in it. But yeah, it looks really bad.
Well, wasn't the intention of Richie Rich always to be basically satirical?
I think the idea was to have, like, a rich protagonist to have the excuse of going everywhere and having adventures all across the world.
Ah.
You know, sort of like Scrooge McDuck, but just focused straight on the kid.
So, to put a date on this video, so do any of you watch Top Gear?
What happened to the sloop sellers?
No.
No?
No.
Bobbin?
Not currently, but sometimes.
I know. it was
Kalon,
necessary.
are you okay?
Their screams.
Don't bring it up.
Alright.
No, like seriously, Bobbin will just edit those out.
Okay, so gas arrows,
We're on this again, god damn it.
just showing you how useful they are here.
That is actually pretty good, because they notice you, kind of. They go full on red, but it basically
Well, they go full on
stuns them?
orange.
Ah.
But yeah, you get enough time to knock one out.
Okay.
And even if they are directly aware of you, you can still hit them with it and get behind them, knock them out.
Yeah. Oh, another secret. That looks like a trap, though.
Books.
Yeah, but fortunately we've got this bookshelf here.
How convenient.
Which, yeah, only opens this side alcove so you can shut off the trap.
Not even a whole door? Jeez.
Well, who needs it, right? I'd like to install a sliding bookcase in my house with nothing behind it, just purely to have a sliding bookcase.
Just more wall behind it.
Just more wall, or a fake door, like a Wile E. Coyote painted on door.
I don't know. I think I'd like to put like just a little tiny alcove, big enough to fit in one book. And that book would be something by Sesame Street. Just to fuck with everybody on every possible level.
No, what you do is whatever copy of the book that you need to pull to open up the door is the book that's back there.
Because you can't use that copy anymore, obviously.
So come on! When else am I gonna use it?
So this is a really interesting room here, by the way. Did you see that just now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I opened one gate out of 2 on that window.
That is pretty cool. That's an ingenious little feature. Practical use for a sliding door that I think would be kind of cool would be to have it leading to your bedroom, like a master bedroom, master retreat kind of thing. Just have it behind a sliding bookshelf. I think that'd be a neat way to do it.
Sounds something like out of Clue.
Exactly.
Oh, how would that be practical, though?
Well, I mean, it's practical in terms of using a secret bookshelf for something. A secret bookshelf in and of itself isn't very practical.
It is if you want to hide your laboratory for building a Frankenstein's monster.
Or your other wife.
That too.
You know, one wife gets the master bedroom, other wife gets the other bedroom. They don't need to know.
No, that's what the revolving fireplace is for.
Secret entrance in the conservatory.
It's a secret tunnel under the floorboards, leads through the piping and into the other bedroom.
This book is going to be my big break. I can just...
Another cool thing to do, in terms of secret rooms, would be to basically build like a Narnia wardrobe, put like a false wall there and have that lead somewhere. Like a bathroom.
Pretty sure a Narnia wardrobe is impractical no matter how you slice it.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, it makes good allegory fodder, but on the other hand...
you have it right in front of the door to the only bathroom in the house, and anytime you tell someone to go upstairs and use the bathroom, you just be like, it's the first door on the right, and all they see is a wardrobe.
And they fall in and spend the next 40 years in a magical land.
Yes, also known as the bathroom.
On the plus side, when they get back out, they don't need to use the bathroom anymore.
Depends on the book. Sometimes it's 40 years, sometimes they spend the actual amount of time that they spent back there. Who fucking knows? I stopped reading that series after like the 4th book.
Yeah, it's never really clear. I think the most popular thing is it varies based on...
What the writer needs to say.
Yeah, they never spend any huge amount of time in the real world. But like, when they're in Narnia, sometimes they'll be able to get back right away, other times it'll take the 40 years. Then there'll be the books that aren't about any of the characters you care about, and not sure why we read them.
Then there's the last book, which is about the apocalypse, and is kind of weird. And
I never
Yeah.
read the last one.
it does not look like I can cross this room just yet.
Oh. Oh.
I think I'll
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Lots of pain.
Well, that's what you have that food for.
Well, it's on the east side, and I'm doing the east side later anyhow. So I'll just come back to it from the other side.
Now, is the 4th one of those games where you can beat the game and then continue from the end of the story?
Yes, there is like post-game stuff where you basically everything's unlocked, you can do whatever you want. Because, you know, the situation on the streets never really changes substantially.
Yeah.
And you can always replay all of the chapters.
Okay.
Kind of a nice kitchen they've got here.
It's a cute little galley kitchen. Little outdated, but then again, this game is based in some strange time period, so...
And it's just too bad that Garrett apparently doesn't think that any of the fine cookware is worth stealing.
No, of course not.
It's
That
not
would...
shiny enough.
That'd be silly.
It's not actual silverware, so, I mean...
Now, rich families did used to actually use silver utensils, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was
Okay.
it was a good way to, like, keep
Fine
food
piece.
clean after you cooked it.
It was also a good way to show off your wealth, because it was
Well, yeah, that too.
pretty valuable all across the world.
But it actually was sanitary, relatively. Until we figured out stainless steel.
Because the alternative was what, like, wood?
Well, the wood, ceramic, metal of other sorts. Really,
Yeah.
there's no shortage of possibilities. It all depends on your budget.
I just don't, I guess I never really thought about, well, steel was really hard to come by. Wonder what they used for forks. I always just assumed it was silver and, like, wood. Easy to come by. Wood is easy to come by for the poor, and pretty easy to make into different things.
Yeah. And I'd say those would be the two most popular ideas, but there's, like I said, there's also ceramics, other metals like copper, brass, iron.
Mm-hmm.
I could not imagine eating on a brass fork. Brass smells bad enough. I couldn't imagine eating with it.
Well, I'm not exactly checking Wikipedia here, I'm just throwing out ideas.
Yeah, ideas.
Yeah. Petty vandalism, I mean thieving. Yay.
You know what's funny?
Hello, button.
Whoa!
Not just about the button there. You see how many City Heritage plaques we have right now?
13 out of 16?
Yeah, we've almost finished the set. And you know what that means for the White Ridge's Duty set, right?
Nope.
It didn't seem to do anything.
Well, you remember I got the White Ridge's Duties, I completed the set and got a whole bunch of money, right?
Oh,
Right.
right, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Also, at the same time, I'm doing the bait and switches here, because that's actually what they're all about. They point out the order in which you need to push those obelisk buttons. And I found all but one of them at this point. And that's good enough, because, you know, process of elimination, you can figure out what the missing one is.
Okay.
And by the way, does this alleyway look familiar to you guys?
No. Should it?
Kind of.
You remember there was a woman in that window up there?
Oh,
No.
yeah. Oh, this is the beginning of the game.
Chapter 1.
Yeah. The only reason I recognize this is because I actually finally did start playing this by myself, and then I promptly stopped.
Why did you even think that'd be a good idea?
Because I tend to try and play all of the games I get for free off of PlayStation Plus. They're free, so, you know.
That seems dangerous.
Well, anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, this is, that goes back to the west side. But I've already cleared that place out, so it's just, you know, checking where I am.
There's a lot to explore. This is a very large overworld for a game that seems to have so little effort put in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Fuel or anything, but it's not small.
There's a lot of interesting stuff around here, too.
It's true.
It actually feels a bit like a city.
For some reason they,
This place brings a new
Oh,
meaning.
did you just click through the top of the window?
Yeah, I was a little high on the window for some reason, and so that happened.
Eh. Garrett's part ghost. Whatever.
So this is a lesser brothel. You know, not the House of Ill Repute or whatever the hell it was called back in Chapter
Yeah.
3?
House of Blossoms, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's Sun Blossoms. The Citizen. Wow, I'm amazed that's still in print. See, the joke is I have a newspaper in my city called The Citizen. That's
Oh, okay.
Huh. Interesting coincidence.
it is.
I don't know, I think The Citizen might be a fairly common name for a newspaper.
Probably. You mean this fictional newspaper in the fictional world isn't the same newspaper as the one that I can pick up at my local gas station? No.
Turns out the city was in Canada all along.
You mean they came up with a generic name for the newspaper in the most generically possibly named city in the world?
It is literally just called The City. Honestly, if they were clever, they would have called the newspaper The City Watch or something. Because the city's called The City. Get it?
I think the City Watch itself would hang them for that, actually.
I'm pretty sure the City Watch doesn't have a trademark on the City Watch.
That wouldn't stop them.
They are a little corrupt. That's true.
Well, one of Basso's missions is in here, but I'm not seeing anything that could possibly, trigger it. So, I don't know, maybe I already got it without realizing it? That's happened a couple of times already. As we wander through the west side.
Maybe it's broken.
No, the dot's still there. But anyway, this is another one of those obelisks.
Oh.
Of Obelisk the Tormentor. Shut up. Did you know Yu-Gi-Oh is still going on?
Yeah, I did.
It's crazy.
It is. You know what else is crazy?
Apparently the very first North Crest was a militant atheist from the very beginning.
You know what else is crazy? Magic the Gathering is still going, a game I stopped playing in high school almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, but that's just like a card game. That's fine. People obsess over that shit. But I'm talking more like the show itself.
Oh, the show itself is still going on. Holy crap. Also, Garrett, I saw where you put your hands originally. God damn it.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing about Magic, because I got a friend who's sometimes into that, depending on the sets that are coming out. But the idea behind Magic the Gathering seems to be that, for tournaments, only the last, 2 or 3 sets are actually legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a body.
Really survived only by his sense of humor.
Alright, that's a penis joke, Thief. That's even below you.
Actually, I think Sick Willie left himself on the trapdoor in purpose in order to prank the next guy who used it.
Okay.
Yeah, but his name's Sick Willie and he lives in a brothel.
Yeah, that I cannot defend. I'm just explaining why he has a sense of humor.
Yeah, he's a sick fuck. That's for sure.
Looks like there's something back here.
You'll love this. The blacktop's...
That really is a
Now, there's a job
bad joke.
Of course, he went off on them, so they beat the tallow out of him.
Well, he had it coming.
And then they pitched him in a cart.
There once was a Willie from Nantucket.
Poor Willie.
Nothing special back here.
It seems like such a waste to make these super huge treasure chests and then fill them with 2 things.
Look at this damage.
Yeah, but
It looks way deeper than it actually is, and if you were even a halfway competent thief, you would be checking for false bottoms.
yeah, because it's true. There's only anything in the top couple of inches of those things.
Yeah,
So.
20% of the damn thing is actually filled.
Yeah.
And what the hell's going on here?
Someone's eating
goose.
goose. Okay, and there's
And-
a picture there.
Someone
Yeah.
is sacrificing a goose to the rooster god.
Good find.
Well, to be fair, geese are kind of assholes, so...
I mean, yeah, geese aren't nice people, but... There's a lot of geese in this place, actually. This person did not like geese at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of geese where I live, too.
Yeah, get a lot of geese and all.
There's a lot of geese where I live as well, but, I mean...
I'm pretty sure geese are everywhere, and you're not allowed to kill them, and they're mean. They're mean animals.
They are very mean and spiteful.
Yeah. You always hear stories.
At least where I live, the geese are intelligent enough to know, that sometimes they should probably get out of the way of cars. Occasionally.
Well, geese are smart. They're just vicious. That's the problem. They'll attack people, no hesitation. They aren't scared of humans.
That's sort of one of my propositions about the nature of the world, is that every living thing is at least some kind of an asshole. Because unless you're an asshole, other animals are going to eat you.
It's true.
Yeah.
But humans are defying all that logic by going, well, this animal's an asshole to us. Let's not eat it. Let's protect it and say, no, we can't kill this animal.
No, because plenty of people around here will hunt and eat geese.
Huh, maybe it's just around here then that you can't kill geese.
It might be a specific kind of goose that you're thinking of, but definitely around here, we eat geese like crazy.
What the hell's going on with this here?
What?
That was not... That pressure plate was not active, the one I just walked
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like...
That was blue instead of red. That's weird. Someone's been here before Garrett.
Or maybe things are just a little more complicated than usual. I think I just opened that window by using that set of books, and...
Alright, what kind of people would have time for this shit?
Okay, look at that. I stepped on the active pressure plate, and it activated the other pressure plate, which was a trap, and also closed the door, but I also disarmed it just now.
People need to stop taking notes from, what's-his-face? The guy who invented Mousetrap or whatever.
Yeah, that was all sorts of needlessly complicated right there.
It's true.
It's a fun game to build. I never actually ever played Mousetrap. I don't know how to play Mousetrap, but man, as a kid, I had fun building that thing and playing with it.
It's, hey, they made a version of it for Xbox Live Arcade. Maybe we'll,
Hey, there's stuff over there.
well, I'll play Mousetrap.
Or not, because I don't own an Xbox.
Well, that's your fault.
But as I was saying, yeah, I figure the idea behind the reason why humans suffer other animals to live is because we are so good at being assholes that we can just laugh at other animals' attempts to be assholes.
Go, well, I could be scared of you, but I'm bigger. But then geese actually do kill people. Surprisingly often.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know why, because all you need to do is really just kick it in the neck. Geese have hollow bones. That's extremely brittle. They will
Baron,
fall apart like paper.
It's been North Crest after North Crest as long as anyone can remember.
You'll have a story to tell as an old man, if any of us make it that far.
So, is the plague basically gone? Because that was kind of a plot point for a while, and now everyone seems to have forgotten about it.
Well, the idea is that Orion is curing the plague,
Ah.
using his super special source powers that he's got now.
Ah, yes, the MacGuffin powers.
Right. You know, plague caused by the MacGuffin, plague solved by the MacGuffin.
Yep, I can buy that. If you were to do this just back and forth for long enough time, I'd probably get sick. The way the camera tilts when you pan across the bookshelf kinda would give me motion sickness, actually.
Well, this is a little weird.
Yeah!
It's
Silverware.
All this
Basso's
time, I thought it
pen.
was the magpie.
And apparently his bird was a magpie rather than a raven or a crow.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Isn't that just a smaller version of a crow? Well,
I think they're all in like the same family. Crows and ravens and rooks and magpies.
the Corvidae family. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was ravens that I was thinking of when I said that they were super smart. I mean, crows aren't unintelligent, but man, ravens are just scary smart.
Except the football team. They're not very smart.
No, they're awful. Don't get me started on the ravens.
Well, the rooks are also kind of creepy intelligent too.
I heard they
A lot of birds are pretty smart.
candle tallow. That's
And then you get doves.
Well, what else do you think they're using?
Well, doves are pigeons, so there you go.
We can have birds that can imitate human speech despite not having a tongue. Really. Or teeth.
They have tongues, but not teeth.
Just not in the...
I may have told this story once already. When I was really young, like before my brother was even born, and I'm 8 years older than him, we went to some sort of vet for some reason, and they had a parrot, and I said, I really like your parrot, it's pretty, and it's pretty, and they're like, the parrot is evil, because apparently what he would do was he would imitate the sound of the phone ringing, and then when they would pick it up, when they picked it up, and they said hello and gave the whole answering spiel, he would laugh.
Yeah.
See, that's an okay assholishness. I can stand for that. Attacking people a little less, but I mean, imitating a phone ring, that's great.
Yeah, all I've seen from the geese around here are just hisses at most. Although it is a little creepy when they hiss at you.
Yeah, but I didn't know birds could hiss until geese started hissing. It's not a nice sound to come out of a big fat bird.
Now, this is interesting. There are no circles there.
Huh.
You see that?
Yep.
The circle
Yeah.
that's supposed to fill in when you find the hidden switch is not present at all. So what the hell's going on with this?
Oh. Tricky.
Yeah, that's another nice thing about the overworld, is that they've got variations
Yeah.
on the usual sort of hidden switches stuff.
That is pretty cool. The overworld is a neat place.
Yeah,
Too bad the rest of the game isn't like it.
the buttons that you have to hit through closed doors, the hidden buttons that are actively some distance away from the thing that you need to open.
Like, the overworld is closer to the spirit of the old Thief games than the game itself.
Well, technically, this is also the game itself.
Yes, but this is... I'm pretty sure this is different. Different thing entirely.
Different developers.
Yeah.
The last team to get hold of this game. Basically, we're given a time limit to essentially create as much content as possible with whatever the last team had left behind.
Yeah. I wonder how many development teams in total actually worked on the game.
I doubt it's as simple as, like, Team A, Team B, Team C, because, you know, the way this goes is usually that there's a lot of turnover between individual, like, team leaders.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And that last smuggler's map, by the way, pointed out this secret here.
Okay.
How would any normal person ever get to that? Well, I guess it's not meant for normal people.
By finding a smuggler's map. That's how.
No, he's talking about pushing the actual button without an arrow, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, by having arms that can reach into locations that you don't directly look at, unlike Garrett. That would be how.
That's true.
I mean, there was enough room between the headboard and the wall that, you know, if you felt like it, you could snake your arm down there and push the button.
Yeah.
But Garrett just doesn't feel like it.
No.
It's because he has all those bracers on his arm and stuff. He just can't. His arm's too fat now.
Hey, Jim.
Garrett's got some meat arms because of all this stuff he's got attached to them.
Yeah, my first encounter with these guards did not go so well. Although these are actually the eel biters at this point.
It's neither the Craven Dawn nor City Watch.
Right.
Jeepers, there's a lot of them. No wonder.
Yeah, that's why it went downhill. I got one guy, and then there was the other guy, and then there was two more guys.
What's happened to this place?
Well, nothing a couple of arrows to the head can't fix.
And then it turns out there's this other guy here.
Whoops.
Whoops.
But that's okay, you know, he'll wait his turn.
Oh, guy's knocking out my buddy. He owes me $20 though, so...
20 cake money, thank you.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
My buddy needs to eat 40 cakes. That's 4 zeros. And that's pretty incredible. And,
I think that's the long... We've never actually seen that happen before, where the circle got bigger again. You've never had to hold the arrow that long.
actually I did that in the last video, oddly enough.
Oh. Well, I haven't seen that, so...
Yeah.
First for me.
Whatever.
bonk.
Oh, it looks like they're almost kissing.
Yeah, there's just the matter of the fletching sticking out of one guy's face.
Well, I mean...
Just ignore that, and, then it looks like they were kissing.
He's pulling a really convincing prank, okay?
It's one of those headbands that looks like the arrow's sticking out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. No big deal. So, there's a lot of these treasure chests in the overworld.
Sure are.
Kind of all over the place. And once again, with nothing in it. Come on, Garrett. Look for a false bottom. What else could possibly be in those treasure chests? Like blankets?
Yes, exactly it. That's exactly it.
How could there be so little in these chests?
Well, sometimes there are chests with, like, generic crap filling up, 80% of it. But then you've got ones like this in which there's, just a floor made of wood that's 80% up on the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't be asked to, come up with filler for all of these, I guess.
If it was me, I'd probably just throw a bunch of gold coins in there.
And that's the last bait and switches.
Yay. But there's still 2 more city plaques.
Yeah. Well, one of them is for an obelisk, which is unrelated to the bait and switches obelisks.
Okay.
Interesting.
What does the bait and switch do, or are we going to find out so shortly that it doesn't bear answering?
We'll find out at the end of this video, but it's actually revealed in Bait and Switches 4. Like, the 4th one is not an obelisk, it is the thing that you are going to collect by pressing all the buttons.
Okay. That's a cute brooch, actually.
Lilac.
Lilac. Didn't really look like a lilac, looked like a leaf of some kind, but...
Could be a lilac leaf.
Do lilacs have leaves? They're a flower.
Flowers have leaves?
Flowers have leaves.
They have petals, not the I guess the
No.
plant would
No.
have leaves,
Yeah.
but...
Yeah.
People don't really associate lilac with leaves.
Well, apparently somebody did.
You've got, like, rose and thorns and... sunflowers and seeds, but you don't really have lilacs and leaves.
Hey, look who we found.
Oh.
Have a look.
Oh, it's the seller.
Once again, he's a secret seller.
It's true, a secret seller.
Some of the sellers are not secret sellers. They're just alley sellers.
We're done.
Well, those are the regular pedophile sellers.
No. I am talking about the lesser vendors here.
Oh, okay. But not the secret ones.
Yeah, and somebody covered that wall with signs for some reason.
Okay.
And there's another, there's another bird nest coin purse.
Well, whatever makes them happy.
Honestly, people are probably covering walls with signs because that's what they do. They steal them and then cover the walls with them. Garrett's probably going to take all his city plaques and just cover some wall with them. Like, haha, look at how funny I am. This wall is just covered in plaques now. I'm clever. Love me.
I stole every plaque in the city, so now they have to replace them all. And then I'm just going to steal them again.
I cost the city $20 today. Now, how do I get up onto those areas there?
Look, puzzles. Hopefully there's no more safes that we can't find the combination to. Because that's kind of annoying.
Well, that's back in the south quarter. I may have to take a second look at that one, actually.
Speaking of stealing signs constantly, just as they're replaced, apparently there was one road that had their mile 69 and mile 420 markers stolen constantly. So instead they had mile 68.9 and mile 419.9 markers made.
Were they stolen less frequently?
I guess. I don't know.
And here's that one room that I couldn't approach from the other side.
The last of the
Oh.
traps. Good thing I came along. Someone could have hurt themselves.
Wait, that was a quest?
Yeah, apparently the guy who owns this apartment got real sick of being used as part of the thieves' highway, so he installed a bunch of traps everywhere, just to piss off the people who would run through his apartment.
That's pretty great, actually. I want to meet this guy and give him a handshake.
Thieves aren't very respectful of other people's property. Although, I guess... I mean, besides the valuables, I mean, like, the apartment property. You can understand them...
And this is a very special apartment, by the way.
That's a bear. You barely noticed that bear.
4 rats, 2 bears, an uncountable number of birds. Someone doesn't just hunt for fun, someone hunts to go on a goddamn rampage.
I wonder what it'd be like to actually own a bear carpet. Oh, and there's a deer skin. And someone hunts because he's a big baby.
Apparently.
Yeah.
What a wuss. Suck it up, man.
He's got a dead rat on his bed for some reason.
He likes to cuddle with it at night.
It was a midnight snack. Alright, we went 2 very different places there.
Yeah, dead rabbits too, and moose antlers.
Moose antler, deer heads, couple of birds.
Dead magpie.
That's a pretty good hunter. Can actually hit things. That's pretty impressive.
Well, like I said, somebody's going on a damn rampage through the woods.
Bears are notoriously hard to kill with arrows. So, good on this guy for having killed at least 4 of them.
Yeah, at least 4. Oh, there's dead birds in the treasure chest, too.
That's nice.
And I stole his dead lover's ashes, I think.
Oh, okay.
Whoops.
Well, he didn't need them anymore since he's not here and probably dead due to plague or murdered
Hey,
or
look.
something equally terrible. A lot of birds' nests in this city.
Yeah, and all of them full of coin purses. I am not going to get over that.
Each filled with the same amount of coins.
No, they're filled with different amounts of coins, actually.
We usually see 5.
Oh, it's anywhere from like 5 to 20, sometimes 40 even. And hey, there's another barred window here, so that means we look at the walls inside.
There's a switch somewhere.
There is.
There it is.
There's absolutely no way you would not have hit those bars.
I know.
That arrow would not have done that.
Honestly, there quite simply wasn't enough clearance to draw a bow in front of you with that there.
No, not at all.
I mean, you could have actually, stuck the arrow through the bars in order to fire it safely.
But the way he had it pointed, he would have had to go either above or below.
Right.
But he just stood right there and it went through the bar.
Yeah, that's the weird bit. Anyway, this is another one of Basso's jobs right here.
Okay.
I guess the good thing about us finally picking nit with how the arrow mechanics work is that this part's better than the usual game.
Oh, did we rob another fence that wasn't Basso?
Yep. Freelance fence.
Can't have competition.
Grr, screw the little guy. Big business. That's what... I mean, Basso's an allegory for big business, right? It's gotta be.
Actually, Garrett's little comment was that usually it's the fence who steals from the thief, not the other way around.
Now, you don't have to give any of that gold to Basso, right? He pays you to do it.
Sometimes the items actually don't give you any money independently of the 50 you get for finishing a Basso job.
But in this case, you stole 40 gold. Did you actually get that 40 gold? I didn't notice.
Yeah, I think so. In this case, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's an important distinction. Some of these items you need to get back to their owners.
Yeah.
But some of these items you just need to take away from the guys who currently have them.
A lot of people have diaries in this city rocked by plague and all sorts of other terrible things.
Well, when you're sitting down and dying, and you're literate, and you don't have a TV or a computer or anything, I mean, the best thing to do is just to write out your dying thoughts.
Hey, it's another... This is the obelisk that's not related to the baits and switches.
Huh.
But it does have the button. It's just
Does have the button.
for a different cause.
So this guy has an obelisk inside his house. They just let him build a house over...
Launching ships.
Well, this is a sculptor's house.
So he was probably making
So
it.
he just has an obelisk in his basement.
Yeah.
The real question is, why the hell did he build his studio downstairs?
Because he's weird.
I mean, I can understand wanting to put it on a solid foundation, but I still wouldn't, want multiple things that weigh multiple tons to be either up or downstairs of any kind.
I don't know what he sculpted with. And he may not have actually sculpted anything in that workshop. That may have just been where he drew up plans. We didn't see any sculpting tools down there. No chisels, no hammers.
But on the other hand, he did stick an obelisk there, so what the hell is that all about?
Well,
It's decorational.
it's hollow. It's made out of styrofoam.
He just really likes that obelisk. He likes to look at it.
He strokes it. It helps him sleep. He cuddles it.
Well, we were already in that particular room before, but we have not made it all the way over here. Last time we were in the neighborhood.
I love how neat those stacks of coins are. These people must be very compulsively tidy. Except for the clear mess.
Well, that's not the thing that gets me wondering, honestly. The thing that gets me wondering is how Garrett is able to pick up a more messy pile of 20 coins as if they were all stuck together with crazy glue.
That is a good question. My other question is how those birds are able to consistently pick up these purses. You think people would notice when their cake purse goes missing?
And add to them over time, no less.
Hey,
yeah.
listen. They never noticed when we took their cake first. What makes them think it's stupid?
Well, we have hands. We can presumably use our neat little fingers and thumbs to pick those pockets, but birds have beaks and wings. It's not so great for picking a pocket.
Maybe they go in flocks. 3 of them distract the guy while the 4th one picks the pocket.
So they heist every person they take a purse from?
Hey,
They're
look,
Alfred
look,
Hitchcocking it. All 16.
all 16 plaques. And do you know how much money we're going to get for having all 16 plaques?
Not a cent.
$5,000.
0.
What?
Ah!
As it
knew
turns out, getting a whole bunch of city plaques is exactly as worthless as you think it is.
Wow.
That guy noticed
Funny
you.
at him. Oh. Ooh, jeez.
Yeah, I missed the timing there a couple of times, so...
Yeah, that didn't go great. Now, is the only way to recover your focus and health by eating food and poppy?
Well, if you actually return to the clock tower, your health will restore. But the only way to get focus back is by chewing on poppies, yes.
Huh.
Just a whole flower. Again, stem and all.
No, not the stem, just the flower.
Just the top part.
Petals and all, yes.
I mean, it could be very delicious, who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, of all things that people eat, like vegetable-wise, pretty sure the first guy who looked at it went, nah, that looks gross, I'm not gonna eat that. Like corn. All that work. Who would think to eat corn?
Well, I think for the first time anybody ate any particular vegetable, the thought process was, well, it beats starving.
Yeah.
Die or eat this thing.
What I want to know is who's the guy who looked at cow udders and went, if I squeeze these things, delicious stuff will come out of it.
Well, it's even more questionable because we're not meant to drink cow milk. That's why lactose intolerance exists. That's the norm. That's status quo, lactose intolerance.
I can see the bridge from here.
Yeah.
Still on fire.
Still hasn't completely fallen down.
You'd think it would have, because it fell down rather rapidly when we were there. Maybe Garrett is just really fat.
Yeah, the reason the bridge fell down.
Like, really heavy, and...
Black is thinning.
That was a good one. It took me a second to...
Maybe that's why he wears his little mask thing, so he can hide his jowls.
That
That explains the girdle.
I hate looking at people with jowls. It really...
Enjoy.
When you look like a bulldog, there's just something wrong with looking at your face. It's
I
bad.
shouldn't have laughed. I shouldn't have laughed.
Like, multiple chins, whatever, it happens. But looking like a bulldog is not normal.
By the way, that's the downstairs entrance to the watch station.
Did we already pick over this particular watch station?
Yeah, you remember. It was the last mission in the Vittori series.
Oh, okay, that watch station. Gotcha. So it's really just this section of the city that's on fire, right?
Well, this and other sections. Like, there's this chunk in the west side that's also on fire forever.
Okay. It adds some color to the city, which is nice. It's not just gray. Orange is a nice color.
Because that's the one thing that you need to do when you got everything set on fire. Is you got to add a little color and spice to the world.
Well, I mean, it's an added benefit. I'm definitely not complaining.
Nah.
I can only look at so much dark drab gray before my eyes tend to glaze over.
Yeah. That is the main reason why I stopped playing this game after one session. The other reason being I've already experienced most of this game secondhand.
You know what modern gaming needs? Every time a game comes out that's just drab and gray, there needs to be a mod released immediately that makes it all rainbow colored.
You know, I remember hearing from somewhere that the reason everybody seems to go with blue and orange these days is that apparently the two colors together tend to pop more than any other combination.
Really? Could have fooled me.
Well, there's a little thing called excessive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the difference between warm colors and cool colors. I just bought a new LED TV, and it's got that setting. It's got like the warm, medium, and cool. And the warm is just orange, the blue is just, or the cool is just blue. The medium's the only one that looks half decent.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like all the different settings on your
The
stereo
Graveyard
for
Act, the
different,
old cathedral. What could they want
what do you
with
call
that
them?
haunted place?
for
Yeah.
different genres.
Maybe they're asking me.
Yeah, it really doesn't change anything. Well, on my phone I've got like the Beats audio whatever, audio balancer. If I have headphones plugged in, it makes no difference except makes it louder and washes out some of the sounds.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing just in the world how many things there are with settings that are only ever used if you are a scrub.
Yeah.
Like all of those crazy transitions in PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Star wipes.
I remember making PowerPoints. You had fun with those when you were like 12 in elementary school.
Fun fact, I have never made a PowerPoint ever.
Listen, Kaelon, you're like 27, not 80. How have you never made a PowerPoint?
It wasn't required when I was in school.
Not even like high school?
No.
You've never made a PowerPoint presentation.
No.
You're missing out. PowerPoints are surprisingly fun.
Yeah, I remember I took a class in technical writing. And at one point we had to make either a PowerPoint speech or a website. And something like 90% of the class made the website, but I was one of the few who made the speech. I was actually more comfortable with public speaking than with building a website.
Plus, I mean, you didn't have anything like all the tools we have now to make websites. It's super easy to make them now.
No, we had the easy tools at that point too.
Oh, okay.
And that was our reward for bait and switches.
Oh,
Okay.
a gold building.
Yep.
Hooray.
Why couldn't we just steal that when we first saw it?
Because it was behind a glass case. But pushing all of those buttons opened the glass case.
You know what else would have opened up the glass case? Smashing open the glass case.
Yeah. And also there, you may have noticed, but there was one more thing I had to do up here. And this is really freaking weird, by the way, because I checked the footage time and again, and the manuscript you need to find was not down here the first time I was here. That was not there. Check the footage. It was not fucking there. What the fuck? How is it here now? It's not even the fact that Basso only just gave me the mission. He didn't. I collected all the missions before I came in here at any point. It was not down here. It was a fucking ghost.